Hi, I'm Greg from the Scary Spirits podcast, and today I'm going to show you how to make a green goblin cocktail, which is the featured cocktail in today's episode of the Scary Spirits podcast. Alright, so we're going to start with a shaker filled halfway with ice. To that, we're going to add a bunch of alcohol, starting with 1 ounce of vodka, and then 1 ounce of peach schnapps, and then 1 ounce of coconut rum, one ounce sweet and sour mix, and then finally 1 ounce of sour apple pucker. Then shake well. And finally, pour over ice in a highball glass, but I'm using a pint glass, and it's a Scary Spirits pint glass. Coconut and green apple. Interesting. A little bit of peach. Delicious. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks.
Welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. Please be advised that the presenters may use adult language and or discuss adult situations. This podcast is not intended for younger listeners or those that may be easily offended. So if you're ready, let's go.
Hi, I'm Greg,
And I'm Karen.
and welcome to the Scary Spirits podcast. The podcast that combines the two very different but highly compatible worlds of scary films and alcoholic spirits. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Indeed. How are you, Karen?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
What lovely movie did you pick for us this week?
Karen, this week I've selected the 1986 Stephen King directed film, Maximum Overdrive.
Stephen King's responsible for all of this. He wrote it, directed, and he's even acted in it.
Don't ruin it.
I'm just
Spoilers.
I'm just putting blame where blame is due. That's all.
Would you like to hear a brief synopsis? A very brief synopsis?
Absolutely.
A group of people try to survive when machines start to come alive and become homicidal.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it
That
up.
sums it up.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Concise.
Oh, and did I pick a drink?
You did pick a drink.
I did pick a drink. So our drink for this episode, which I don't think you understood last week when I told you what it was, but now maybe you do after watching the movie.
Now I get it.
The Green Goblin cocktail.
You'll get it too if you even watch a few minutes of the movie.
For the Green Goblin cocktail, you're going to need 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce of peach schnapps, 1 ounce coconut rum, 1 ounce sweet and sour mix, and 1 ounce of De Cooper sour apple pucker schnapps. Would you like to know how to make it, Karen?
I would.
Basically, you pour all the ingredients into a cocktail shaker half filled with ice. You shake well and pour over ice cubes in an old-fashioned glass.
Like an old-fashioned, like an antique glass or an old-fashioned drink glass?
No, an old-fashioned glass, which is kind of short.
I know.
Which is why my pint glass was only half filled when I was finished.
Which just isn't enough for you.
No, so I just dumped everything in there. I didn't strain. I just dumped it in.
Rebel.
And then it also says, serve with a lime wedge.
That's a lovely pint glass you're using. Why don't you tell the listeners what pint glass you're sipping that drink from?
So I am using the official Scary Spirits podcast pint glass,
Now
which may or not
available.
be on our store when you listen to
Oh,
this.
that's true. I forgot about that.
We'll see.
Greg discovered that the pint glasses weren't dishwasher safe.
No, they were not. Hand wash only, people.
So we're looking into that.
So if you do buy one, hand wash. Should we give them a minute to gather the ingredients and make their own Green Goblin cocktail?
It's what we do.
Hold on. And we're back.
Yes, we are.
Karen, any housekeeping or
Complaints.
complaints, edits, corrections we need to make from last episode?
Well, I don't have any. Do you?
I would just like to say that I would once again like to thank my son, John, for joining us on that episode. 'Cause
Absolutely.
he was very good.
He was very good.
And I should say that he is 27, so he is old enough to have seen The Evil Dead like 7 or 8 times.
And enjoy the cocktail that goes with it.
Exactly, because I don't think we covered that.
I think he was excellent.
Yeah, he was good. I don't know where he gets that shit from.
I'm not saying anything.
Do we need an explanation of the cocktail or why I picked this movie?
Why you picked the movie or why the cocktail?
Either or.
Well, I'm
You tell me,
happy-
are you curious?
Well, I'm very curious why you picked this movie. Yes.
Okay. So I saw that this movie is from 1986, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this movie when I was living in an apartment when I first got cable, because we didn't have cable at mom and dad's house. And it was right when it first hit cable. Of course, I had Showtime or HBO or some shit. I don't know.
But it wasn't straight to cable, was it?
No,
It
it
was
wasn't.
shown
No, it was in the theater in
Okay.
1986. Yeah. But by the
time you got out of your parents'
88,
basement.
89, whatever. Yeah. It was on cable. And I saw it many times in that short span that it was like first run on cable. And then I haven't seen it since. And I saw it at Half Price Books and I remembered, oh, I like that movie. And so I bought it and brought it home. And I remember coming home and telling my son, John, showing it to him. It's like, hey, you ever seen this movie?
That's good dadding, right? How old was John at that point?
He was 18,
Okay.
probably.
So he wasn't. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So I bought it at Half Price Books, put it on my shelf, and haven't watched it since.
So you didn't show it to him?
I didn't. Well, I told him I had it and he could watch it if he wanted to, but I never like grabbed him by the back of the neck or the ear, which I always like to do in those days, and putting him in front of the TV and say, watch this.
Most parents don't need to force their kids to watch TV, but okay. I'm usually doing that to get them away from it.
Yeah. So I never watched it. That's why I picked it, because, I've had that and I really want to watch it again because I remember enjoying it.
So did you watch it from the DVD or did you watch it on
I did.
Amazon? So you made me pay $3.99 to watch this movie, and you had the DVD.
Well, you sound like that's a bad thing.
Maybe. We did have a long discussion, though, after The Evil Dead.
Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers.
How we weren't going to go for the gory stuff. You remember that?
It's isn't gory. And actually, they made Stephen King cut a couple scenes out so it wouldn't get an NC-17 rating.
What were they, just prolonged versions of what you see or something? Or a whole new...
I don't know. I don't know what you watched. So maybe you had a director's cut. I don't know.
No, I did not. I just watched the Amazon Prime.
No, but it could have had more stuff in it. You don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
And the Green Goblin, obviously.
Well, let's not spoil it. We can tell them when it appears.
Okay. Are you ready to get into the movie then?
Yeah, let's go. Greg got a new microphone and now he's playing with all the gadgets.
I do have to say, I do have a new mic and a new setup. So if I've sound like weird the last couple episodes for all of our diehard listeners.
Yes, all of our diehard listeners, please let us know if Greg sounds new and improved with his new microphone.
I do like the coconut rum with the apple pucker.
It is good. I think it blends well with the peach schnapps too.
Which I may have mentioned in the YouTube video when I was making the drink.
Yes, so please check out the YouTube channel and watch Greg make every drink that we do on the Scary Spirits podcast. And you can find the recipes in the recipe den at scaryspirits.com.
Yes, you can.
I'm selling it.
Yeah, doing a good job.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Doing all I can.
Yeah, that's why you're the marketer and I'm the editor. All right, you ready to get into it?
Let's tell the people what they want to hear.
All right. 1986 movie, Stephen King, Maximum Overdrive, his first and only directorial credit.
Take a big sip, people. Here we go.
So the movie opens with a bunch of words to read.
Oh, Greg loves the words.
On June 19th, 1987 at 9:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Earth passed into the extraordinarily diffuse tail of Rhea M, a rogue comet. According to astronomical calculations, the planet would remain in the tail of the comet for the next 8 days, 5 hours, 29 minutes, and 23 seconds.
So what's a rogue comet?
I don't know. It's a comet. It doesn't have a natural, like...
Did a comet that broke from the pack?
Or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, he's just comet going out on its own.
Yeah,
the lone wolf
does
comet.
What it wants. Yeah. It just goes where it wants, does what it wants.
It's a rebel.
Yep.
A rebel comet. Okay.
And then we see the planet Earth surrounded by green stuff. We learn that this is occurring in Wilmington, North Carolina.
It is.
And we see a bank. And it lists the time. I think it's like 9:47.
It was earlier in the morning, yeah. Well, what did you just read? What time did it say?
9:47.
There you go.
And I think it was 74 degrees. Does that sound right for June in Wilmington, North Carolina? On an early morning.
Maybe in the morning, yeah.
Yep. And the bank signs displaying the date and the time and all that shit. And then it says, fuck you. Correct, Karen?
Over and over.
Yep. And then we see a man walk up to the ATM machine. And who is that man, Karen? Do you know? Do you recognize?
It looks a lot like Stephen King.
It is Stephen King making a cameo, much like Hitchcock did in all his movies. And King does a lot of his movies too, even the ones he doesn't direct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I would make cameos in my movies.
Well, shit, yeah, I would too.
I mean, come on. Absolutely. I know. I'd make
and actually
multiple.
His wife is in it too.
Really?
Yeah, as woman number one, Tabitha.
That's a pivotal role, man.
Yeah, woman number one.
Yeah.
Well, wait till you hear who woman number two is.
Keep me in suspense.
Yeah, I know. And so Stephen King walks up to the ATM, puts his card in, and the ATM screens reads, "You are an asshole."
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time that came up.
You are broke and you are an asshole.
Or maybe it just laughs at you when you're trying to take money out.
And he says something about, "Honey Bunch, come over here." This
Screen says I'm an asshole.
This ATM's calling me an asshole.
And then the movie starts with the music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I made a note. If nothing else, the soundtrack is good.
It is. Is it all for those who are?
For those who don't know, Stephen King's favorite band is AC/DC.
So are all these songs from one album?
Well, yeah, they're from the official soundtrack.
Oh, but AC/DC wise, are they all on one album?
The official soundtrack, yeah.
Oh, is that all it is? They didn't sell these separately?
AC/DC released an album. Name of the album was Who Made Who. And it had Who Made Who on it, which is like the title track of this film.
Right.
And it had the couple instrumentals that AC/DC did in the film were in it too. And then all the other songs that they used, like Hell's Bells, Shake Your Foundation, For Those About to Rock, You Shook Me All Night Long, all those. So it's almost like a greatest hits album with
But all of those
Who Made
songs,
Who and the couple instrumentals.
but all of those songs are on different AC/DC albums, and then they compile them for the soundtrack.
Correct.
Okay, that was my question.
And we see a drawbridge. Did you know it was a drawbridge from the beginning?
Well, I didn't until
Okay.
I knew it was a bridge. That's
It's a
all I
bridge.
knew.
And there's lots of trucks on the bridge. We see lots of trucks going across the bridge. The controllers are in there playing cards. They're not paying attention to whatever's going on, right?
Well, no, because there are no large ships coming through.
Yeah, they got nothing to do.
They did make it obvious. There's an older guy and a young guy, and the young guy's picking his nose, like really picking his nose. So
then we see the controls on the drawbridge start moving on their own. The drawbridge starts opening, but the traffic lights are all still green. And like the bar that comes down that says stop has not come down. So nobody knows the drawbridge is going up, correct?
yes, it's our first indication that something might be amiss.
Yep. We have a situation.
Excellent dialogue.
As the older guy says to the young guy.
First, they show what's happening, to all of the people on the bridge with the watermelons and
there's a truck full of watermelons and they're going everywhere.
And then the poor motorcyclist
sliding down the bridge
and into the water.
Yeah. And somewhere in there is woman number one, who was Tabitha King.
Is she the one in the 80s? She might be in the 80s outfit with the headband.
That is women number two.
Oh.
Do you know who that was?
No, who was that?
That was Marla Maples.
Oh, yeah, totally Marla Maples.
Now was that Marla
you say
Maples.
That, yeah, one of those braided headbands, and I thought she's wearing leg warmers in that car. It's very 80s fashion in that moment, well, throughout, but she was the epitome. But I did not know that woman number two was Marla Maples. She had a speaking part.
Yeah, well, she had a screaming part.
Yeah.
I think that's why she was credited as a woman number two.
But there's a truck that's straddling the two sides of the bridge as it's going up.
Yeah.
And he tries to back up. Now, get out of the car.
I know. He opens his door and he looks out, and I'm like, jump out to one side or the other.
Before it's too far.
But he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
No. So I made a note. Truck falls in the water. Driver should have jumped when he had the chance.
And it goes into the water slow-mo.
Yep. As they all do. And then we have the VW van with the AC/DC logo on it.
I saw that.
That's lots funny. Of product placement in this
There
movie.
Is a lot of product placement in this movie. But it's funny that you say that the girl is number two is Marla Maples, because who she's with is a guy in a tennis outfit.
Yeah, with like tennis shorts on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so the cars all start piling on top of each other because the drawbridge is going up and nobody's backing up.
There's mayhem on the bridge.
And that's when he says, can't you see we have a situation here?
Can't you see we have a situation?
Okay. Then what happens?
Then we see the green Goblin semi-truck.
So
the Happy Toys.
Yeah, describe
with
that
the Z.
for them.
What's the Green Goblin?
From?
Marvel Comics.
Okay, well, not everyone knows that, Greg. So
it is the Green Goblin from Marvel Comics. It is credited in the credits as used by permission and everything. So it definitely is.
Is it from Spider-Man or is he? Okay.
Yep. Spider-Man Comics. It's a semi of toys. Happy Toys with a Z.
The Green Goblin kind of looks like a devil, but it's green. Sorta,
It's the
right?
Green Goblin.
Well, yeah, but I'm just describing it for people who aren't familiar with the Marvel universe.
All right. Then we see Emilio Estevez cooking eggs at a truck stop.
Before you see that, Wanda, the waitress, is trying to make the radio work. And
Yes, she
again,
is.
it's another little bit of a hint to us that something's not right because she can't get the radio to work. And then, yes, Emilio comes on screen.
And he has a name in the movie, but I just keep referring to him as Emilio. So that's why I'm going to keep referring to him as I go.
I think his name is Billy, but yeah, I'm
Billy.
on board.
Yeah, it probably is.
I'm on board with Emilio.
Yeah. And I made a note there are palm trees at the entrance to this Dixie Boy truck stop in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Are there not palm trees?
I don't know. So I'm asking you, are there palm trees in
I don't know.
North Carolina?
I think you need to check.
No, I don't think I do.
Yes, you do. Now that you brought it up.
Hold on. You can grow palm trees in the warm areas of North Carolina. North Carolina has a humid subtropical climate with short, mild winters and warm, humid summers. So, yeah, I guess you can, depending on where you are. And they're Wilmington, which is very south, actually. Almost the south. Yeah, it is in the southernmost county of North Carolina. So it's almost Georgia.
There you go. If you move to Wilmington, you can have palm trees.
So Emilio is cooking his eggs.
And Boss Hogg calls him to the back room.
He does. And as he's working his way back there, all the vending machines and pinball machines and video games start going crazy. Right. And there's this dude in there trying to play pinball, and they all start spitting out their quarters and their cigarettes and everything, right?
Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out that it's a game room and a truck stop.
Yeah, it's a game room and a truck stop.
Well, I don't frequent truck stops very often, so I didn't realize they had game rooms, but it makes sense.
This one does.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they have things to help entertain the truckers.
And actually, it's on the outside of their building. It says game room, bar, showers.
Pretty much all you need.
Cut to the gas pumps, and the guy pulls in with the Green Goblin semi, and he tells the guy to fill it up. And so Duncan, we learn, is the guy's name who starts filling up the Green Goblin semi truck with his 80s gas pump. Do you remember those gas pumps, Karen?
What, the way that it ticked, you mean?
Just the way they worked.
It wasn't digital.
You got to pull the hose out and push the lever down. And
I don't remember that. I'm too young.
Yes, of course.
I remember people pumping the gas for me.
Well, that's why if this was a full service station. That's
actually,
another thing.
I don't remember them actually doing it for me. For my parents,
well, not for
I
you.
remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For my parents.
Yeah.
But not for me. No.
Yeah. Did you notice how much the diesel gas cost?
Yes, it was $1.08.
$1.89.
Oh, sorry.
And you could tell that the dollar was added. Like it was at that time where they had to add like another part to the sign to add the one.
Yeah, the good old days.
So they said, "Oh, we'll never go over $1 a gallon." Right? But they did. So Duncan starts pumping gas and it stops pumping. And he looks at it.
Like
he looks
the younger
right into the hose.
Like the younger sibling.
Look at that. What's going on? Where are you, gas?
Right into the hose, like the younger sibling. When you're older and you kink the hose and you tell your younger sibling to look in it and see why it's not working, and then you let it go.
I don't have any younger siblings.
Well, the good old days. So yes, he's looking directly into the hose. And what happens?
It spits diesel gas out.
It kind of growled. Did you hear it growl?
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird.
And it gets gas in Duncan's eyes and he collapses. So the owner of this Dixie Boy truck stop is named Bubba, right?
Aren't they all named Bubba?
And he's played by Pat Hingle, correct?
I don't know. I didn't look at it.
Yes. And I have a note. I like Pat Hingle.
Really?
I do like him as an actor. I like him. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the character.
No, I like him.
because-
'Cause he was Commissioner Gordon and
Oh,
Michael Keaton Batman and other things. He's just a good actor. I like him. He's a good character actor. And he's good in this, I thought. Bubba.
he acts like a Bubba.
Yep.
But did you see? So they kind of, once Duncan gets sprayed with the gasoline, they go into like the first aid station. Did you see the wall in the first aid station? Did you see what was on the wall?
I saw the wall in other places. Was it the same wall
Yeah, it was the same wall.
where Emilio and the hitchhiker are later? And
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
It's a wall of basically like Playboy pictures, I would say.
Yeah,
Or maybe Hustler. Maybe.
Eh,
Once,
Penthouse, maybe.
maybe. Okay.
Maybe. More Playboy with a touch of Penthouse.
Okay.
I
Well,
would say. I don't know. I'm just saying.
people talk and you hear
That's what I
things.
hear.
Yeah. So Boss Hog is what I call him because he's
Okay.
kind of a pig.
Bubba. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we learned that Emilio is on parole and Pat Hingle, Bubba, is making him work longer hours than what he actually clocks in for.
Yeah. He wants him to work 9 hours and only clock in for 8
Right.
because he's on parole and he threatens him basically
You're
that
gonna
he'll,
send your ass back to prison, boy.
if you don't do what I say.
He says, you see what that star? See that star? You know what that star means?
Right. The star on the time card.
He tells Billy or Emilio to, hey, take this time card back and put it in your slot on your way back. And then that's when he notices that, oh, a lot of these time cards have stars on them.
Yeah. So Boss Hog is scamming the system here.
So this is just one of the things he's got going on.
He's got a lot going on. You're right.
Yeah, he's my hero up to this point.
That's a shame.
All right, so while Emilio is back there with Bubba, the waitress is trying to make eggs and hash
Failing.
browns and
Yeah.
breakfast for these truckers, right? And she's trying to do it, and all of a sudden the turkey carver, I call it a turkey carver. It's just a carver though, right?
It's an electric knife.
Electric knife turns on and slices her hand or her wrist.
Comes at her and tries to cut off her hand.
Yeah. And then it drops to the floor and starts going after her foot, right?
I shouldn't laugh, but yes, it does.
Yeah, it's not even plugged in. It's just going on its own power. Is it battery operated? I don't know.
And we do see there is a flash where they show the newspaper that mentions the comet.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
you kind of see that.
there is.
And then she said, it turned itself on and it bit me. And then I have lots of mansplaining about what happened.
I don't know.
Anyway, Emilio kills the turkey carver with a hammer,
Yeah.
but it
crushes
takes
it.
some effort. It's not a one whack thing.
No, it is not. So yeah, he kills the turkey carver, her electric knife, if we want to use the generic name. And then we
they-
cut back to the guy in the game room, right?
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
his
he's-
loot.
Yeah, he's got his pockets full of cigarettes and change
He's loaded up with loot.
and Twinkies, I think.
I mean, wouldn't you? If it was spitting out everything, I
Oh, yeah.
totally.
But then he turns to look at the Star Castle video game. Remember the Star Castle video game, Karen?
I do not, but that was not a wise move on his part.
And he gets hypnotized.
Yes, he does.
And he walks up to it. He touches it and like he gets shocked. Lightning goes all through his body and he's shocked and gets thrown
Excellent.
back.
Special effects were on point.
That was 1986.
He's dead
He gone. Then we cut to a little league baseball game.
with a big home plate slide.
Yeah. And the winning run scores.
He was safe.
Yes. And the coach says, I'm going to buy everyone a soda. Does he say soda or pop? I don't know.
He says sodas.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So he's not from Ohio.
He's not from Ohio. So he says soda. And he goes to the soda machine, puts a coin in, tries to get soda, and nothing comes out.
Until something comes out.
Then all of a sudden, all of these cans come flying out, hitting him in the
Tender spot first.
jewels.
Yeah. And then the face.
And then the face and the forehead. And then they
Like all the players behind them are getting hit by cans.
And they're kids, too.
They're kids.
So it is a kids' baseball game, we should have said.
Yeah. Little League baseball game.
Did you say Little League? I
said Little League baseball game.
So it's death by soda can to multiple people, not just the coach. There's some kids laying there, too.
Yeah, some kids. But one kid the catcher has his mask on. And
he runs to check on the coach, which is nice.
Yeah, when he puts his mask on.
Yeah.
Says, Coach, you okay? And he's got an imprint of a can in his forehead. He's obviously gone.
Yeah, and the kid's got the catcher's mask, and the cans are hitting the catcher's mask, so he's not getting hurt.
Yeah, so he's safe.
He's safe in the run, and he's safe now, yes.
And then the steamroller arrives.
Yes, so number 10, I was noticing their numbers on the back of their jerseys, is trying to flee on his bike, and he falls.
Okay.
Number 10. Let's have a moment of silence because the steamroller's coming. Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you. So then steamroller runs over the kid.
I was taken aback that they killed a kid.
It was worse, apparently, because they cut part of that out to get the rating they got. Yeah.
Well, I probably looked away, mostly because it was a kid. But yes, a kid gets the cartoon treatment there, only it's not
run
cartoon.
Over by a steamroller.
Yeah.
Then we cut to
number 3. Okay, so number 10 is steamrolled.
Okay.
Number 3, Jersey, gets on his bike, and the steamroller starts to chase him.
Yeah.
So how fast can a steamroller go?
I don't know. But is number 3, is that who we learn is Deke?
Yes.
Okay.
So number 3 is
that's the boy. That's the catcher.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we know he has a heart because he went to check on the coach, and then he leaves all the kids that are laying on the ground, and he takes off on his bike, and then the steamroller starts chasing him.
Okay. We later learn his name is Deke.
Yeah. He's a more central character than the steamroller kid.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So then we cut to a man and a girl in a car driving down the highway.
Yeah, a hitchhiker and a slime ball is how I described it.
Well, I described him as a Bible salesman because I knew that's what he was.
Oh, well, I didn't know that until a couple scenes later. But yes.
So I knew that's what he was. Bible salesman and a hitchhiker. Did you get the hitchhiker's name?
I did.
It's just a little interesting thing, I thought. What's her name?
Brett.
Not a common name for a female.
But yet you're familiar with it.
Yes, I am.
And why is that?
Because my stepdaughter is named Brett as well. And do you know what year she was born, Karen?
I do not.
1986. Same year this movie came out. But it's no relation. It's totally coincidence. So then we cut to the Dixie Boy truck stop.
Well, wait, the news on the radio. Brett's looking for a station on the radio that will work, and she can't find one.
Much like the waitress earlier.
Right. So another indication, and the slime ball, or the Bible salesman, as you call him, is getting a little handsy. And she says, "Eat my shorts."
As they do.
Which I thought was funny, because that's a very 80s kind of thing to say.
Which relates to something I'm going to bring up later.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, now back at the Dixie Boy truck stop.
They're at the Dixie Boy truck stop, and Brett jumps out of the car, starts running in, and the Bible salesman gets offended because, apparently that's not good manners. And they start arguing in the parking lot of the Dixie Boy truck stop. And the green Goblin truck gets very annoyed at the Bible salesman, right?
Yeah, starts up on its own.
Yep. And tries to run over the Bible salesman.
And she, to her credit, Brett, she pulls him out of the way.
Yeah.
Mistake number 1, but whatever. There's a crowd in the truck stop.
There is. And I made a note. Stephen King has a thing where he likes to put a bunch of different people from different backgrounds in a horrific situation in his stories. That's what he likes to do.
It's a trope.
Yeah. It is.
Okay.
And that's what we have here, right?
Absolutely.
Although they're all truck drivers, mostly. I mean,
there's
different colors and ages, and there are waitresses, and then you got the parolees like Emilio
and the boss. and
Yeah, and Bubba.
the workers. So yeah, I mean it's a mix, but
Yep.
it's pretty much the same socioeconomic level, it looks like, except for maybe the boss.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I mean, no one's super, super rich or super, super poor. Didn't
Yes.
seem like anyway, except
guess.
maybe the hitchhiker. Anyway, okay. There's a crowd in the truck
Yep.
stop.
And then we cut to a scene where we see a just married couple driving down the highway or interstate or whatever these are. And it's Curtis and Connie.
I'm just going to say Connie's annoying. I know she's supposed to be. That's her character, but oh my God.
Yeah, but they stop at a gas station or something and they see a guy lying there and she says, Curtis, is he dead?
She does.
Curtis looks up and the clock's running backward, and then the tow truck pulls out with the other driver and starts to chase after Curtis. And
well, first he tries to wave it down because he thinks he's going to get help.
yeah, he does.
Like, hey, I'm over here. Run me over here.
Then it tries to run him over, but it just misses. And Connie says, Curtis, are you dead?
Like he's going to answer if he is. But yeah, it's almost like the truck's almost like a bull. Did you feel like it was kind of getting ready to go at him? So it took a minute. It's revving its engine before pedal to the metal and goes right after him.
And just a minute ago, you mentioned, she says, eat my shorts, right?
Yeah.
Which is a famous line from what?
It's The Simpsons.
Right.
Yeah.
And the girl who plays Connie.
Oh, she's a Simpson.
She's Lisa
actress.
Simpson.
Yeah. Was that while she was on The Simpsons?
86. I don't know.
Probably, huh? Her character's awful. So no one's driving the tow truck and it starts again at them and she's screaming, get in right now. And she's driving.
She's been on The Simpsons since 1989. So right before
this was before this. Okay.
And then Connie's in the driver's seat and Curtis jumps in.
She's a terrible driver.
Oh my God. I wrote she would have made a good NASCAR driver. She's a great driver, I thought.
But she keeps going in the wrong direction.
Well, yeah, but
she is doing
she's
some
driving
nice...
the shit out of that car.
Yeah. She's...
Later in the movie, I'm thinking, let Connie drive. Right. That's what I was thinking.
She's evasive, that's for sure. She has evasive maneuvers.
So then Emilio crawls into the Green Goblin truck to see if he can find out what's going on with it. Because the driver said, well, I got the keys, so whatever happened, I don't know. So he crawls in, he's trying to figure out what's going on, and he puts the key in his fist like he's going to punch something. And
from the women's defense class. Because they teach us that.
And it takes him a few minutes to do it too. So, and he pulls up in the curtain to the truck cap and a Green Goblin Jack-in-the-Box pops up, right?
It's a jump scare. Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a jump scare, I think. So then he gets out of the truck and he's walking around it and walks behind it and he's looking at it. And I made a note. I don't think I'd stand behind it, Emilio.
But did you see what was printed on the side of the truck?
Another bundle of joy or something like that.
Here comes another load of joy.
Load of joy.
Because it's the truck, yeah.
Brett comes over, starts talking to Emilio, and the mirrors on the truck move so that the truck can see what's going on with Emilio and Brett.
The pretty girl startles him and they introduce each other. They introduce themselves. But you're right, the mirror follows them like the truck is watching them.
And my next note is we see Deke, the Little League boy, riding his bike down the street. And as he's riding down the street, sprinklers and all the lawns come on as he's passing them, right?
Yeah, but they're the old-timey sprinklers.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean old-timey?
Well, they're not electric.
I have one of those right now.
Well, okay. Like I said, the old-timey ones that we used to put in the yard and run through. But they're not electric. You just turn on the faucet.
Right.
So that's not really a machine, is it?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to say no, it's not.
Then he's riding through the town and we see all the destruction left in the path of this, whatever it is. We see a guy with a Walkman and we hear the news on the guy's Walkman. Did you have a Walkman, Karen?
I did.
I did too.
Of course I did.
Did you have one that had the radio in it though?
I don't think so.
I didn't either. I had a
Was
cassette.
that more expensive?
Probably.
then
No,
that's probably
no.
explains why
I don't
didn't
even know if
have
it
it.
existed, but apparently it did because this guy's got a Walkman on listening to the news and is talking about how machines are coming alive or are
Yeah,
under control of some agency we don't understand.
machines are on a homicidal rampage, is what he
Yeah.
says. This boy sees dead people.
Yeah,
I mean,
lots of them.
everywhere he looks, there are dead people.
And we see a girl hanging out a window,
It's just
strangled by a hair
carnage.
dryer.
Right. It's just carnage.
And all the while, I made a note, the song DT by AC/DC is playing.
The one cool thing about that scene, though, when he was riding on the street and the sprinklers were going off, when he turned back to look at them, they all turned off.
They all stopped. Yep.
Yeah. That was kind of cool.
And then there's an ice cream truck.
Coming at him.
Yep. And
No one driving.
Nope. And he ditches his bike and jumps into the bushes. Is that when he does that?
Yeah, he's a pretty smart kid.
Yeah. And we see the bloody lawn boy. It looks like a lawn boy. It's green. It's a lawnmower, a green lawnmower. I'm calling it the lawn boy.
Yeah, and it chases him.
And it chases him. Then we cut back to the Dixie Boy truck stop.
Yeah, this is so gross. The Bible salesman is talking with his mouth full.
Is that what's gross?
Yeah, that's just gross. I
didn't even make a note of that.
Oh, dripping
My next
out of his
note is
mouth.
about Duncan.
Oh no, the Bible salesman talking with his mouth full. This is when I learned he's a Bible salesman.
Right.
Because he's trying to sell it to the waitress and someone else.
It not only covers the creation of man, but the
Downfall. Yeah, all the way from the creation all the way to the downfall. But then it goes to Duncan. Yes.
Yeah. So Duncan is the guy who got diesel in his eyes earlier, and he decides he's got to go find his boy, who is Deke, who's the little league kid, right?
Yeah, we don't know that yet, but yeah, it is.
Kind of. I don't know.
Well, it makes sense.
I did, I think.
Because you saw it before. But Boss Hogg threatens him.
Yeah. He ain't having none of it. And even Emilio threatens Boss Hogg.
But Duncan has to go find his boy, which is a natural thing. You would want to go look for your kid.
But of course, he's seeing double. He can't see anything. Yeah, but I get it. And he gets run over by a truck.
He's gone.
Is it I don't think it's the Green Goblin truck, though, right? Just a truck. Okay.
I made an observation that it seems like the trucks are going after people separated from the herd. You know, when they're in a group, they kind of don't really make a run at them. But as soon as there's one, they go at them.
Right.
Yeah. And then the truck hits the Bible salesman's car.
Truck hits the Bible salesman's car and he gets all pissed off and runs out there.
Doesn't use words that a Bible salesman should.
Nope. And the Green Goblin truck chases after him and knocks him into the creek.
And runs over his Bibles.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So that's when I'm wondering, is Stephen King an atheist? Because he really takes out the Bible salesman and then crushes all the Bibles.
You just said it. He's saying lots of things that a Bible salesman shouldn't say. So, right?
Well, yeah, but
I'm just kind of the hypocrisy of, he's selling God, right?
Right. So just at this point, I will say that I confused this movie with a different movie when you mentioned it.
Yeah.
And there's a Spielberg movie called Duel, where a certain truck terrorizes a guy through the whole thing. And that's what I thought this movie was. But
good.
I was wrong.
Good.
Good that I was wrong.
No, I don't know.
But there is more than one movie where trucks are evil and coming after you. Okay, believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it. And then all the trucks begin starting their engines one by one.
Well, first Brett's changing because she doesn't, because
the Bible, because she thinks the Bible salesman's dead. He had her hands on her and she didn't like it.
She didn't like the smell of a dead man on her, but yes.
And this is after she's already told Emilio, "You're cute." Right.
But not that cute.
Well, cute enough, apparently.
But she says not that cute. So
well, he
apparently
knows.
he knows. Well,
yeah.
He is cute. So all the trucks do start back up.
Yeah. And I made a note that there is a whole semi-truck full of rolling papers.
Oh, I did not know that.
Do you know what Job 1.5 is?
No.
Those are rolling papers.
I wouldn't know that.
I did, especially in 1986.
Of course.
And I remember. So,
Well, that's good. And the trucks blow their horns.
Yeah.
In a victory.
And then we go back to Kurt and Connie on the highway.
They run over an antique. Did you see that?
Did they?
They run over the phone booth. Oh, you kids out there don't know what a phone booth is, but
it comes back later.
Yeah, but they run over the phone booth. And this is where they start circling the truck stop.
Yeah.
All the trucks are circling. And I'm thinking, why don't they just crash in and destroy the place? What's the point of?
Because they'll sink into the basement.
But still, if there's like 10 trucks there,
what would be their gain from doing that?
They'd kill all the people, which is what there's
not necessarily.
Well, they would not be able. Okay, that's what I would have done. I guess I'm just mass destruction.
Well, they might know that they need the people later.
Yes. Okay. I agree. But at this point, I didn't know that. And I thought, why don't they just plow through the place? They don't know there's a basement in there.
Yeah, I think they do.
Oh, because they know all.
Yeah.
All right. If you say so. So back to Kurt and Connie.
And I do. So Kurt and Connie are back on the road. Cut back to them. And they're going like south, and a bunch of semis are going north. I don't know.
What
but
did
a bunch
they
of
call
semis,
that? Is that a convoy?
We got us a big old convoy. Come on back, 10-4.
You should put that song in there.
I have it.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Then it must go in.
I have it on 40. I have it on vinyl.
That surprises me. No.
Don't you have the C.W. McCall 45 single convoy?
No, I do not.
I do.
So one of the trucks breaks away from the convoy.
Well, a semi pulls in front of them and then starts chasing them as Chase the Ace by AC/DC is playing, the other instrumental in the soundtrack.
Excellent.
And this is where I'm thinking, Connie, why don't you let Connie drive, Kurt?
Because Curtis says, I think I just loaded my pants.
Yeah, Connie should be driving. But Kurt does, and he tries to he eventually does outmaneuver it, gets off on an exit and cuts sharp and whatever. Truck goes. Of course, it blows up like all cars do in the movies.
Right.
Right.
And Connie, the entire time, just yells Curtis at the top of her lungs.
And the semi trucks are circling the truck stop. And Kurt and Connie get to the Dixie Boy truck stop because they think they'll be able to call it the police from there because they saw the sign earlier.
Right. They're 2 miles from the truck stop when they go off that exit.
And they get there and Kurt says, well, there's a gap in between a couple trucks. And
he's going to shoot the gap.
Their little circling the wagons thing they're doing. And he says, I can get in that gap right there. Get ready for it when it comes next time.
What kind of car are they in? Did you notice? I didn't. But they're in the grass.
It's a big car. It's a
boat. Yeah.
Like an Oldsmobile. And I might note their tires squeal when they take off.
Even though they're in the lawn.
And they don't seem to be going too fast.
Well, they're also in the lawn. They're in dirt.
I think I could have made that. I didn't understand how he couldn't make it.
It was a big gap and he did miss it. He got clipped. They get clipped.
Yeah. So truck hits them and they flip. And Connie won't stop talking. I made a note. Even as it's flipped over, she's still talking.
Well, she put her seatbelt on when they were getting rammed by the truck earlier. And then she was stuck in the car in her seatbelt. And all the trucks are celebrating by blowing their horns.
But Brett just happens to have a straight razor in her boot.
As you do.
As you do.
Then this is even better. Then what happens?
Then Bubba comes out.
Yes, he does.
Bubba comes out of the Dixie Boy truck stop with a rocket launcher and he shoots one of the semis.
Were those readily available? How did he get? I called it a missile launcher. Is it a rocket launcher?
Same diff.
Yeah.
But we learn later, right?
I know, but he just casually strolls out with a...
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. A handheld missile launcher.
Yeah.
And just, takes one out.
And there's lots of Miller beer product placement in this movie.
Yes, there is.
So I made a note. There's a Miller truck circling. There's a Miller neon sign in the window, and everyone
is drinking
Miller beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the only beer they got. Miller. We got both kinds, Miller and Miller Lite.
right?
Exactly. He missiles a second truck and the toilet paper rains down.
Toilet paper. And then we learned that Brett, the hitchhiker, is hitchhiking to Florida. She says, I was hitchhiking to Florida until every machine in the world went into maximum overdrive.
There it is.
And
the
there it
title.
is. There's the title.
Well, Emilio asked her why she had is it a straight blade or a switchblade? Are they different?
It's a straight razor.
Oh, it is. Okay. Well, he asked her why she had it, and she said a girl hitching to Florida needs some protection. But after she says the maximum overdrive, after she gives us the title, she starts crying. She's scared.
Yeah, she's very vulnerable.
And who steps up?
Emilio.
Yes, he does.
He says, if I put my arm around you, would you stick me with that razor? And she says, no, I wouldn't stick you. Razors aren't for sticking, they're for slicing.
Come on, Emilio.
And they hug. Yeah.
They do.
Then we see the boy on his bike, Deke, on his bike. And he sees an airplane.
Flying itself.
Yep. And what song plays, Karen?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Do you? You must.
I know. I originally wrote Apocalypse Now because the same song is used in Apocalypse Now. But it's actually Ride of the Valkyries by Richard Wagner.
Oh, I did know that.
You did?
Yeah.
Ride of the Valkyries?
Well, I've heard it before.
Yeah.
I also knew the song the ice cream truck was playing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Do you know the Ride of the Valkyries is from the Der Ring an de Nibelungen?
No.
Or some shit like that.
I bet someone else could say it a bit more eloquently.
If I had it in front of me, I could say it. But there is a part of that opera or whatever it is called Siegfried's Funeral March, which is another one of my favorites. So I like Wagner too.
You're cultured. Look at you.
I know. So what was the ice cream truck song?
Actually, I knew it when I heard it, and I wrote it down. But King of the Road.
Ah, I saw that in the credits, and I'm like, I don't remember hearing that, but that's when it was. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It was King of the Road. Because I kept thinking, I know this song, I know it. What is it? What is it? And then it gets to the King of the Road part, and then I knew what it was. So there's a bathroom meetup next, right?
Yep. So Amelia goes to the bathroom to take a piss. One of the other guys is in the shitter, right?
Literally, yes. I think his name is Joey.
Yep, Joe. That's Joe. Yep.
Joe, okay.
He's in there taking a dump. And Emilio asked him about how much weaponry Bubba has in the cellar.
Yeah. The firepower in the basement.
Yep. And Joe says, you're going to get us in trouble, Billy. And Billy says, we already in trouble, Joe.
It's true. I don't know why. That's the other question. Why didn't the trucks ram the truck stop? And why didn't they just go in the basement and blow up all the trucks with the missiles? They have missiles in the basement. It seems a little odd to me.
Just greed, right? Greed. Has Bubba done what anyone to know? He's got all that firepower.
I know, but do you want to be alive or do you want to have your guns?
He's thinking this is going to pass, and it's all about greed. So Emilio and Brett go downstairs to take a look in the cellar, and they figure Bubba must be a gun runner. So he's got all kinds of guns and ammo and rocket launchers and grenades, and he's got a third world country down there, right?
He's stocked.
Then we see the boy on the bicycle again.
Well, wait, before we get there, Bubba outs Emilio to Brett and tells her that he's a parolee and that he robbed
he's a hardened criminal.
He robbed a grocery store.
Brett doesn't care.
Oh, she's in love.
She's in love. Yeah, he's too dreamy.
He is. He's pretty dreamy.
Short. Oh, so do I. Never mind.
What? You have something in common with Emilio? Do tell.
We both have our left ear pierced.
Oh, it's true. It was very obvious. They made sure that you saw that he had his ear pierced.
Yeah. Yeah, he's all right. He's all right in my book.
You're like twins.
Yeah, we are.
So yes, Deke arrives at the truck stop.
Yep. He sees the truck circling the truck stop. Again, DT by AC/DC playing. And he tries to open a fence to a sewer pipe gate thing, right? But he can't.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a sewer, but yeah, it's a pipe.
Yeah, it's a drainage pipe, whatever. But it's got a fence on it and you can't get it open. He's trying to get across the street.
It's got a grate, yeah. And he's
Yeah.
trying to go underneath the highway to get to the truck stop, and he can't because he can't get the grate off.
Correct.
Thank you. And the sun's going down.
Yes, it is. Emilio and Brett, I guess they're sleeping together now.
On the dirtiest sheets ever. Oh my God.
Right underneath all the Playboy / penthouse pictures.
Yep, classy.
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do. And I made a note that Emilio is out of focus.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they have like literally a shot of them both lying there in bed, and Emilio's face is out of focus. But
I just saw they were playing footsie.
But Brett's is good. Brett's is in focus.
Well, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I prefer Brett's face anyway. And they see the green lights in the sky.
Yeah, and she says she thinks it's the comet.
Yep.
And all they have to do is stay alive for 7 days.
She's pretty smart.
She is. She has a smarty pants.
And then Emilio hatches a plan to take a sailboat out to an island off the coast of North Carolina that has no cars or vehicles on it at all.
So that's pretty smart too.
It's Bald Head Island.
It's a good plan.
They do have golf carts.
Oh, you looked?
Yes. Or they do now. Maybe not in 1986, but
Well,
they
there
do
you
now.
go.
But no cars. So then the waitress starts flipping out.
Well, somebody tries to play a song on the jukebox with the Last Supper painting on it, and it blows up. And
I
then
think it's Sink the Pink.
Oh, and you're right. Wanda, the waitress, totally overacts in this next section here. She loses her
saying,
shit.
"We made them. We made them." Then she runs out and says, "We made you." The lights in the truck start going on and off, and all the trucks are blowing their horns.
Yeah, because then the electricity goes off for good. They have no electricity.
And then they hear the Bible salesman in the creek calling for help. "Help me! Help me! You sons of bitches!"
I don't think he says that, does he?
He doesn't, but could have.
He's still alive in the creek. Yes.
Then the little league boy, Deke, finally finds this sewer grate that's open so he can crawl across the highway in the pipe, or a drainage pipe, right?
Yeah, I think it's a drainage pipe.
Yep, drainage pipe.
And the convoy's going overhead, so it's very loud as he crawls through the pipe.
And the people in the truck stop, they hear the Bible salesman and they decide, well, we can't just leave him. So Emilio and Curtis come up with a plan to save him. They're going to run over to the shower house, which is an adjacent building to the truck stop. And they're going to go into the sewer drain and crawl out to get him. Because apparently the sewer drains right into this creek.
Awesome. Well, it's the shower drain. It's not the sewer drain. It's the shower drain.
Oh, yeah, that's better, I guess.
It's a little better.
Suppose. So the boy, Deke, finishes crawling through the pipe and he comes out and he finds the Bible salesman.
Well, yeah. So Curtis and Emilio, they go through the shower drain pipe and it's gross. And I'm like, dysentery is what they're going to have. But okay. There's a rat. The obligatory rat is there. Mm-hmm. And the Curtis says, I wonder how many people have peed in here because it's the shower drain.
Right.
And then, yeah. So then from there, they cut to the kid emerging from the drain and finds the Bible salesman.
Finds the Bible salesman. And he puts his ear to his chest to see if his heart is still beating. And apparently he doesn't think it is because he gets up and starts walking away. And just as he's doing that, the Bible salesman jumps up and grabs him by the leg, which is another startle scare.
It is.
And he tells the boy that he needs to pull him to safety or he'll kill him.
Which I thought was pretty funny. Pull me to safety or I'll kill you. And Deke says he's too heavy, which of course he is.
Yeah. But he has no choice.
How's he going to kill him if he gets up and walks away?
So I guess he's got a death grip on him, the kid.
I bet if you whack that hand, he'd let go. But okay, you're right.
Right about him, Emilio and Curtis show up.
Right.
And they discovered the Bible salesman dead.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. All of a sudden, he was dead.
Yeah, he's dead. They say he's dead. Forget it. And so they go take the boy back to the sewer and crawl back up to the shower house. And Emilio takes out one of the trucks with the rocket launcher again as they run back to safety.
Well, and Deke asks about his dad.
Yeah, and this is where Deke finds out that his father, Duncan, is gone.
Yeah, the boss hog delicately tells him that a truck took him out.
Tough break, kid.
And Emilio comforts Deke. And Brett slaps Boss Hog.
Yep.
So there you go.
And then it's the next morning.
Morning breaks.
Yeah, because the sun's coming up.
Yes, it is. And what's coming?
What arrives?
Yeah.
A Caterpillar bulldozer and an army vehicle with a machine gun. Just what they need.
Shit's getting real now.
So the bulldozer arrives, pushes Bubba's car into the truck stop. Bubba's not happy about it.
Well, he comes out zipping up his pants. He's with the waitress.
Yeah, Wanda.
Yeah.
And he shoots the bulldozer with the missile launcher. He really likes that missile. Missile launcher gets a lot of play in this movie. So.
Well, who wouldn't like the missile launcher?
And then the machine gun opens up on the truck stop and kills about 4 of the people in there, including Bubba.
Takes quite a few of them out.
Including Bubba.
I mean, yeah, get down. When I worked in Baltimore, I worked at Johns Hopkins, and they actually would have on the news, if you hear shooting, don't run, drop to the ground. Good to know. It's always
that's good advice.
It is. Don't run,
Either
drop to the ground.
Drop to the ground or pull your firearm and drop to the ground.
Well, I did not have a firearm, so I would have just dropped to the ground. It was a dangerous place, but anyway.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
Huh.
Where the medical center was, yeah. Anyway.
So then Wanda, the waitress, loses it again.
She does. Screaming again, we made you.
And she goes running out. And I made a note. She obviously has blood packs under her clothes. Just a little lumpy where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she goes down too. That's it.
Yeah, and the machine gun shoots her and blood goes, everywhere. But as she's falling, she gets a shot off on the missile launcher and takes out the Miller truck.
Bummer.
So then the military vehicle starts honking.
Yeah, and I said Morse code ? And guess what?
It was.
It's Morse code.
That's right. And Deke earned a badge in that last summer, so he knows exactly what it's saying, right? And he's a good actor, by the way.
He is. He is a good actor.
He's won lots of awards for audiobooks.
Oh.
So that's what he does mostly now.
He had piercing blue eyes. He was a good-looking kid. And his acting was very good.
This was his first movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was 13, first movie.
He was probably the best actor in the movie.
Come on. Weren't Emilio and Brett and Bubba?
I think Emilio's done better.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess. I don't know.
So what does the message say?
It says, someone has to pump gas. Someone will not be killed. If you do not, everyone will be killed. I didn't write it word for word.
If you don't pump us full of gas, everybody will die.
Right. Basically.
Yeah.
So they start filling all the trucks up with gas. And then we see trucks lining up on an interstate waiting their turn.
Yeah, because Emilio says, tell all your friends that we're open. So I guess these truck aliens speak English because all of a sudden all the trucks come and everybody's filling the trucks.
Yeah, everybody's filling the trucks. It's thirsty work filling trucks, I would
all
say.
Day. It goes over 100 degrees.
Yeah.
They show the thermometer.
And eventually the station runs out of gas.
Well, yeah.
Then the truck's not happy at all. And then along comes a fuel truck.
Oh, is that what it was? And he starts bumping Emilio?
Yes.
I did not realize
it's
that.
The fuel truck. He's bumping him. He's bumping him. He's like, here, take my gas and fill your tank so
I see.
You can keep feeding us. Yeah, it's a fuel truck.
Totally missed that. I just said a truck is bumping Emilio. I don't get it.
And then Emilio starts mumbling something about a broom and aliens and sweeping them all away or something.
Because he's exhausted, Greg. He's exhausted from pumping gas all day.
He's delirious.
Yes, he is.
Okay. But they do come up with a plan to escape through the sewer pipe.
They do.
And go to the marina or whatever and go to this island that has no cars. So Emilio comes up with this plan and he
blows up the military vehicle with a hand grenade, right?
Yeah.
He's walking by with the other guy. What's the other guy's name? I don't know,
I don't know,
Max
but
or
he-
Steve or Frank or Andy, one of those.
But he just says, when I say run,
When I say run, run. And he says run, and he drops the hand grenade on the vehicle and it blows up.
Yeah, it's like a cart. It's a weird vehicle.
Yeah, it's a little
not-
cart with a machine
yeah.
gun.
Yeah, just a cart with the machine gun.
Yep. And they all escape across the street. And then once everybody's out of the area, the trucks start driving into the building.
So do they know the people are gone?
I think so.
I see.
And Emilio says, if Jesus is coming, he's pissed. And then an oxygen truck drives into the building and blows the whole place up.
Yeah, it starts leaking and ignites, and it blows up the building. But shouldn't the basement cause a lot more of an explosion? I mean,
Well,
it's
there
got
was some big explosions.
Oh, so there were
This is a
multiple.
gas station now, but
I know. Well, how much gas is left though?
I don't know. But there were multiple explosions.
Yeah. Okay.
And then all the other trucks drive away.
And all the people as they escape, they're very well armed.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they've been in a Bubba cellar and they all have M16s and stuff.
Right. They raided the basement
Yeah.
before they left.
So they all tried to escape to the marina.
Did you see the plane that was
In a
planted
school bus.
straight up and down in a school bus? Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
I didn't really
and the-
understand it, but yeah, I saw it. It
'Cause
was the
the
plane
gre-
from earlier.
Oh, was it? I
It
didn't
looked
know
like to
that.
me. It was like orange and white, just like the other one.
But the Green Goblin is going to the marina.
Yeah,
It passes the sign.
it's following.
Yeah.
Then they get to a fast food restaurant. The speaker says, humans here, humans here, humans here. And the restaurant's called Burger Lane.
And Deke, the young boy, shoots the speaker and says,
does.
"This one's for my dad."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he gives the gun to Brett.
says, I
'cause
don't
he-
want this anymore. Whatever.
And then along comes
The ice cream truck.
playing.
Is it still playing King of the Road? Karen?
It is. And Curtis has had enough of that.
Was it Curtis?
Curtis took it out.
Well, him and someone else. I remember two people shooting at it.
I think it's Brett.
Probably Brett. She's a badass.
She is.
She's a badass the whole movie, except when
She
has one.
cries.
She has
And
one
she's-
moment.
I think she's probably just manipulating Emilio at that point.
Nah, girls don't do that.
No, never. They don't do that.
So Curtis and we think Brett shoots the truck and it blows up. So they all eventually get to the marina and they find a sailboat. And Emilio even has the one. He's like, that's the one I was thinking of. He has already got it all picked out.
The goblin's hot on their trail, though.
Well, they don't see it yet. But one of them stops to grab a huge diamond ring from a dead woman stuck in the window of her car.
He's a red shirt.
And and the Green Goblin is not happy.
Yeah, someone says, "Where's Brad?"
The Green Goblin truck runs over the guy.
See,
And then
that's what you get. That's greed right there. You can't
Yeah.
be greedy.
That's right. And then Emilio shoots him with the rocket launcher right in the mouth.
And what does he say? Adios.
Does he?
He says, "Adios, motherfucker."
Okay. And then the truck blows up and they all rejoice. It's much rejoicing. And they get in the sailboat. And then we have more reading to do.
Yes. What does it say?
2 days after, a large UFO was destroyed by a Russian quote unquote weather satellite, which happened to be equipped with a laser cannon and class 4 nuclear missiles. Approximately 6 days later, the Earth passed beyond the tail of the Rhea M exactly as predicted.
And everything went back to normal.
And Connie complains about getting seasick. And then there's more reading. The survivors of the Dixie Boy are still survivors.
That was so weird.
The end.
But what's back to normal? Are they the only ones alive? It was so odd. Is everybody else dead? I mean,
I
I
don't
would
know.
I assume not. If the Russian satellite could take out.
It's another thing Stephen King likes to do. He likes to leave it open-ended.
And what's normal? What are you going to go back to? Is the kid going to stay with Billy and Brett? What, there's no
Yeah. There's,
closure here.
what happened to Deke's mom? Does he have a mom? Did he have a mom?
Well, obviously he had a mom.
At one point.
He exists, but I don't know.
And I made a note during the credits.
Okay.
They list, the music and they list the songs. And one of the songs is Shake Your Foundations by AC/DC. And it says written by Angus Young, your favorite guitar player.
I think he's an excellent guitar player. I think his solos just go a little too long.
So I'm sure you love the instrumentals in this movie.
That's okay. It serves a purpose.
So it says written by Angus Young, Malcolm Young, and Bon Scott.
Oh,
That's not right.
why?
Because that song is on Fly on the Wall, which is from 1985. Bon Scott died in 1980.
But it could have been an old
And
song.
on the album, it's credited as Angus Young, Malcolm Young, and Brian Johnson.
Oh.
So I'm wondering, I'm surprised they let that pass.
AC/DC, you mean?
Yeah.
What was the 80s? How aware were they?
Well, it was theirs. They did the soundtrack. You would think they would credit shit, right?
I guess. Or maybe
Wouldn't
they just took the check.
So this starts a whole a whole thing in my head, like, well, maybe it is Bon Scott. Maybe he did write the lyrics. Or maybe he did write a lot of the lyrics, more than Brian Johnson.
Well, maybe they both did. Wait, so tell me again. So the movie came out in 1985 or 86? 86. And the
song
album
is from 85.
Okay.
But Bon Scott died in 80.
Well, maybe it was a collaboration. Maybe they had it
So because of this, I went
deep in the rabbit hole.
Deep down the rabbit hole today about songs on Back in Black that supposedly Bon Scott wrote lyrics to, but they aren't, attributed to him. But maybe Angus and Malcolm paid his family to get the rights to some of the words. And
Well, they might have done that.
Maybe he wrote a lyric and then they wrote a lyric and later they combined it. I don't know, but
Or maybe Brian made some changes and then they gave him credit,
well,
later.
they didn't give him credit.
Well, on the album.
They gave Brian credit. Yeah.
Right, on the
Okay.
album. I don't know. Did you listen to the song on the soundtrack and the song on the album? Are they exactly the same?
They are not. They're different.
Well, then there you go.
Well, the song on the soundtrack is shorter because they cut it shorter.
Oh, I was thinking, I was trying to help you out, but
And Angus Young has said in 2 interviews that I learned today that some of the lyrics on Back in Black were written by Bon Scott, even though he's not credited. But this is even way after that. This is like 5 years after that.
like you said, maybe they did it to help his family out or something. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know, but they do use one of his songs. There's a Bon Scott song on the soundtrack.
I got no answers for you.
All right, Karen. Anything you were pleasantly surprised by in this film?
I would just say that young actor, I thought he was pretty good.
Deke?
Deke was a pleasant surprise, especially when you have like Wanda or some of the other character actors in there, the guy in the game room. They just were caricatures, but he really was believable as a kid, although he was blowing bubbles after he learned his dad died. So I don't know, but I thought he was really good.
Holter Graham. That's his name. Holter.
Way to go. Excellent.
Yeah, I liked him. He was good.
And I think I was you're going to laugh at what I was disappointed in.
Yes. What were you very disappointed in, Karen?
Well, I was sure that after they missiled the Green Goblin, that it was still going to come after him. I was so disappointed that it just died like that.
It was all blowed up.
Doesn't matter. That's your sequel. It comes back to life. They sail away and then the lights come on and it drives away. It should have come alive at least one more time. So they really had to run and get out on the boat. It could have driven into the water. All this buildup and it just dies with one missile shot. Come on. What about you? What did you like?
Well, like you, I liked the kid actor, especially once I learned that it was his first movie. And from the very beginning, he was very believable. The first time you see him on screen, he's believable.
Absolutely.
I
agree. I think he was really good.
But I think the acting in general was good from everybody.
Okay.
It was a good cast, I thought.
I think they were oversimplified characters, but yes, the acting was okay.
Stephen King.
They were one-note characters, but the kid wasn't. That's the thing.
It's a short story. No, it's based on a short
true.
story.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, but we're allowed to critique it.
Oh, If I haven't said so, it's based on the short story Trucks.
What were you disappointed in?
Kind of like you. At one point, I was like, okay, they've got all this ammo and firepower in the basement.
Yeah. Why
Why
didn't
don't
they
they
just
just
take 'em-
use it? Especially after Bubba's dead and gone.
I mean, at some point they
Right?
kind of
And Emilio didn't even have to use a grenade to take out the army vehicle. Really? He could have done it with a rocket launcher from far away, from maybe behind the big Dixie sign, like up on the roof. That would have been a good scene. Like if he
Yeah.
was like behind the letters of the big Dixie sign, trying to take out the army vehicle.
It just seemed strange. They do kind of imply at one point, because I thought that immediately, like you have an arsenal in the basement, use it. But you can, at some point, it showed that you could piss them off.
Yeah.
So you would incur wrath if you did that. But still, if
You just
everybody
can't
was
let them know what
armed,
you're doing.
but if everyone's armed and takes out one truck, you can walk away.
The beginning, yeah.
Yes. In the one, but they knew those weapons were in the basement at that point before they send out word that they have gasoline for everyone to be fed.
So how many cocktails we give in this movie?
This was not one of my favorites.
Really?
I'm giving this one a 4.
A 4?
Yep. You're
I was
going to
gonna
argue?
say 3.
All right. You can give it a 3. That's fine. But
You weren't entertained?
oh, now you're Russell Crowe. Were you not entertained?
I don't know what that means, but no,
Oh,
were you not entertained?
From The Gladiator.
Yeah, I saw it.
I
once.
would say I was more entertained by The Evil Dead than I was entertained by this.
Really?
Yeah.
I like this movie for some reason.
But what is that reason? Do you know?
I don't know. I just like it. It's enjoyable. As I was talking into my phone last night watching it, making notes, I had to like delete my laughter several times.
But it wasn't made that, like Evil Dead was made and they call it comedy camp. This was not made for you to be laughing at it.
That's the way it turned out, and it's.
I know, but that's what makes it not so good.
I guess. Well, I guess, like I said last week, this is the only movie Stephen King has ever directed, and there's probably a reason why. It's his only movie, and apparently he doesn't remember any of it. So,
He was on drugs or something, or
I guess.
Allegedly.
So what he says, he can't remember it.
I don't think it's that bad. The story
If I went
tracks
in
and
1986 me, if I went to a movie theater and saw this, I wouldn't be mad.
yeah, I guess it would be expected in 1986. I wouldn't call it a good movie.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I'm giving
it's
it
not
3.
the worst. It's not the worst we've seen.
I'm going to give it 3.
All right. Well, you're in charge of the website, so there you go. It
So
gets a 3, people.
So what'd you think of our drink?
I like the drink. I think it's refreshing. It's probably one of my favorites so far.
Is it?
Yeah. I could drink too many. It's very tasty. It's tasty without tasting any alcohol at all. So the coconut mixes well with the apple and the peach.
Yep.
So
Anything we learned today, Karen? Well, we know how much diesel gasoline was in 1985.
we were reinforced that Greg doesn't like to read at the movies.
$1.89, because there's always that 9 at the end. Lots of good character actors in it. Lisa Simpson.
We learned 80s fashion is unique.
Yeah. And there are no cars on Bald Head Island in North Carolina.
Is that a real place?
It is. I had to look it up because I didn't make note of it when I was watching it.
It's
True. There are no cars. They do
think-
have golf carts now, though.
Mackinac Island in Michigan's like that. Is that right? Is it Mackinac? I think
Sounds right. We learned it. AC/DC is Stephen
Kick-ass.
King's favorite band.
AC/DC is an excellent band. I do enjoy AC/DC.
Angus just gets a little out of hand. All right. So I guess next week is your pick. Do you have a movie in mind yet?
I do.
Have you chosen?
I did. We're going to do The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. We're going back to old school. I've had enough of the gore.
Do we have
Yeah.
a cocktail?
We do. It's called the Tall Blonde. You're going to need gin, vodka,
That's a new one.
peach schnapps, orange juice, and Southern Comfort peach liqueur.
This is our first gin drink.
Yeah, but it's mixed in with orange juice and schnapps, so I bet you barely taste it.
Well, I don't
I
care.
like-
I'm just
I like
making a
gin.
note that it's our first gin drink.
Woohoo! Let's celebrate.
Not my favorite. The tall blonde. Should I wear a sweater when drinking it?
That I'd like to see, yes. When you're making it on YouTube, please wear a tight sweater.
A tight sweater. So do we need to thank what's their names again?
No, I actually got my own liquor this
Oh,
time.
you're a big girl. Went out and got
Yeah.
your own liquor.
Slapped the mask on and away I went.
We're coming out of a pandemic, people, if you're listening to this 20 years from now.
Well, some people have been out for a while. I have not. I'm coming out. Got a couple more weeks and we'll be free to move about the cabin.
So I guess the only thank you then we have is to Verse 13 for letting us use their music in our podcast. Every episode. And this was episode 10.
We're a decade in. No, that's awesome. We're double digits.
All right. Anything else, Karen?
Well, just remember, please drink responsibly.
Yes.
If you like what you heard today, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scary Spirits Podcast. If you have questions or comments, email us at scaryspiritspodcast@gmail.com. Check out our website at scaryspirits.com. You can find us on YouTube at Scary Spirits Podcast. And if you want to wear what all the cool kids are wearing, we have a merch link right on our website. Also, if you are looking for the recipes for our themed drinks, you'll find all of them in the recipe den on our website. And remember, if you really want to help us out, leave us a 5-star review. As always, thanks for listening.